Welcome back to Living History. Today we're talking with Ed Minshall, who lived in Penn Wynne, and so we're going to be talking about Penn Wynne. Ed, where did the name Penn Wynne, how did that happen to, who coined that?
Well, I think this real estate company did, Mahoney, McWilliams and Mahoney.
Yeah, McWilliams and I got to look down here. It's
right.
Maloney,
Maloney,
M-E-L,
yeah, Maloney. I'm sorry.
McWilliams and Maloney.
I remember the names from my parents.
Well, in the Lower Merion Historical Society, we had Maloney spelled M-A-L.
Really?
Maloney,
yeah.
And this is Meloney,
unusual.
M-E-L. Now, on these brochures from the McWilliams and Maloney Real Estate Company, is there one picture that shows your house?
Yeah. This one specifically is my house, right there. It was on the corner of Henley and Braddock. And you notice the front door of our house, the lower one, looks like it's the front door because you had to go up a big terrace bank into our front porch. But the other side of the twin had the main entrance, front entrance on the side of the house. Came into the living room and the dining room. So they did that all throughout. One house had the entrance here, one entrance on the side, and it made it look like possibly that was one big home.
Because when I drive through Penn Wynne, it doesn't look like they're twins.
I know, I remember.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable how the developer did that. In the history of that area, I had understood, and I read in the history that there was a Green Hill Farms plantation. Do you know where that was?
Yes, that was on the other side of Haverford Road from Penn Wynne and Overbrook Hills. You had Penn Wynne and Overbrook Hills, each on one side of Manoa Road. On the other side of Haverford Road was another whole section, was cornered by Haverford and City Line and Manoa. That block in there was called Green Hill Farms. And also it included the present Friend Central private school. That was in there when I was a kid.
What was the name of the family that owned that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
It said Morris.
Morris, yeah.
And
Worcester. It was a big estate, and then I guess he leased it or lent it to Friend Central. It was a big estate because one of my best friends in Penn Wynne School, Bob Redfern, he lived with his grandparents there, and his granddad was the groundskeeper of that whole establishment, even before it was Friend Central, I guess. And then Friend Central became part of his responsibility. And under their home, underneath their neat little Cape Cod home on the side of the Overbrook Golf Club, underneath their home was a row of garages with all the equipment in it. I knew that because I was allowed to stay overnight with Bob at his house.
Now, where Lancaster Hospital is today, what
that was the
there?
Overbrook Golf Club.
Overbrook Golf Club.
There was nothing there, and the Eastern Baptist Seminary was on the corner, but the other was all part of the golf.
Now, where the Green Hill apartments are, was that part of the Green Hill plantation, the farm?
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't. Well, there might have been some later on in my life, but I don't remember anything there but the golf club, Friend Central.
1964.
Yeah, oh yes.
This was after
right.
You were grown up.
Yeah.
Where did the heat come from to heat these houses?
Oh, the entire neighborhood, and this was always a selling point to my dad. He used to talk about it. It's great, and my mom too, because of the cost. There was a coal-burning plant over in the Overbrook section of West Philadelphia, which would be down at the bottom of Haverford Road coming into 63rd Street. And it was called Lewis Jones Incorporated, Lewis Jones Heating. And they had a steam heat plant there, generated the steam, and they had a network of pipes out to Penn Wynne, maybe Green Hill Farms, I'm not sure, I think so, and Overbrook Hills. And they served, that was the heat for that entire neighborhood. I didn't know anybody until later on. One family got an oil burner. That would be in the 40s. You know. And they would generate the steam, pump it out to Penn Wynne. Each home would have an inlet and a pipe that could be turned off underground out in front of the house. And they pumped the steam in. It'd go through the system of iron radiators, and when it condensed into water, It would drain back down and come down this long trough through a meter. And you paid your bill according to the return, which was returned. The water was returned to Lewis Jones. But when the steam went into water, and you paid like a water meter. And that was your bill. Now, there was a minimum. There was a minimum price. So, but most people were at the minimum. And I often wondered about water coming down in the open. They could have detoured that water and saved their bill, you know. So maybe that's why a minimum was necessary. But I think people were pretty honest in those days. I don't remember anybody ever thinking or the thought of cheating with that water.
Right.
You could dump that water out in the sewer, take it out, and you're going to save on your bill. But
let's say that you got a cold snap early in September or something. Would there be steam?
Yeah, as I recall, there usually was. I don't recall any problem with that.
Okay.
Because well, you know, they had fireplaces in those homes. And they were a little gas log. And you might have seen the picture. I showed you a picture of my... Yeah. Right, there's the fireplace with a Seth Thomas clock on the mantle.
What are we looking at here, Ed?
Okay, that's my mom, that's myself, and my brother Bob, who was 3 years younger than me. And it was a neat house.
Where are you in this picture? What house is that?
This is 232 Henley Road, the first house.
The twin.
The twin house, right.
And you were talking about the fireplace.
Yeah, that's a fireplace. And I think there was a time set when Lewis Jones would send it out.
Okay.
And if you had a cold snap before that, that's where the gas log. And every house had one of those.
Okay.
Now in Overbrook Hills, there were real fireplaces. You know, wood-burning fireplaces.
Okay.
Which my dad loved that when we moved down to 126 Henley. We stayed on the same street, but we moved on the other side of...
Okay, now let's see if we can find that house.
Okay, there it is. There it is. You can see the nice wide... Look at that brick chimney. I mean,
Yes. Now what's the address of that?
126.
Okay.
So we moved from 232 above Minshall Road to 126. Now, I just have to tell you one thing. Right alongside this big, nice-looking chimney, my dad cut an entrance down. He dug out all this down below to the ground level of the basement and installed a nice, heavy door. And he built a stone wall. Built a brick wall and steps and everything up and out there, so we had an outside entrance into the basement that nobody had. I don't know why, but I remember working with him in the summer. Every evening after dinner we worked and worked and worked. We dug that out by hand. And it's still there. I just checked on it with you.
Now, can you describe that?
Yeah.
What are you looking at there?
That's the Penn Wynne School. Just before they cleared all the debris and stuff from building, that's the original Penn Wynne School.
And what
no
year
additions.
About?
And that's 1930, about when it went into business.
So just about the time that the houses were being built, a
just
school was built.
A few years later.
So then that was a selling point to buy a house because you're going to have a school next.
My mom just loved Penn Wynne School. She always thought that. He was high on Penn Wynne School. Really was.
By the way, was she a good student when she was at Radnor High School or
No,
Haverford?
my mom went 10th grade in Lower Merion.
Okay.
And she moved over because they lived right on the township line, and they moved one block to another house, the house I was born in. And she went to Haverford High School for 11 and 12. But she graduated from Haverford High School valedictorian.
There you go. That's
and
what I was after.
You know what the gift was for that? You know how they get stuff?
A certificate?
No, $10 gold piece.
Oh, $10. Oh.
Yeah. But, I mean, compared to entire scholarships and so forth.
Right. You know. Now, we got what's this building?
Okay. That's the American Store building right on the corner of Rockland and Manoa Road, and it's right across from the firehouse, and on the other side of it was a little row of stores that I just loved. That was the Penn Wynne stores, we call it. That's what the kids all call it. Had a Sweeney's Grocery, Ernie's Barbershop, etc., right down to the penny candy store at the end.
That's it.
Our favorite.
Now, you had a paper route?
I had a paper route. We got our papers behind those stores in a little shed built on the back of one of the stores. And we picked them up there. I had 100 customers, even 100 customers in Overbrook Hills. Other kids had Penn Wynne, Green Hill Farms. But I had one whole section of Penn Wynne, of Overbrook Hills, up against Carroll Park. That would be the township line.
Okay.
In other words, we didn't go over.
And how did you deliver those papers?
On a bicycle, on an Elgin bike from Sears.
And up and...
And it was the best present for my parents. I got it for Christmas.
But up and down?
Oh, yeah, all this, yeah. I had to walk it up some of the hills because I couldn't get up enough speed, throw the paper in at the bottom of the hill and get up without getting off. Because I had a basket on the front and saddlebag baskets on the back.
And you had the weight of the newspapers?
Yeah, well, you know, you fold them all before you leave.
Yeah. And, what's this
That
building here?
is the original Penn Wynne Library, which was staffed by volunteers. It was a little, that was a little real estate office, believe it or not.
On Manoa Road?
Yeah, now this, it sits on a 45-degree angle on that plot, which was bordered by Henley Road and Manoa Road. And this walk led right out to that corner.
Is that building still there?
No, that building's gone.
Okay.
There's a home there. That was an entire lot. It was mostly, as you see, trees. It was a neat library, and it was exciting to get down there and get your card, and you know, it was all new for kids.
Yeah.
You know.
Could your mother walk down to the American stores for grocery shopping?
She walked yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything was convenient. Yeah,
That's
that was
great.
about 3 or 4 block walk to the stores. That's all.
Now,
That's
Ed,
where I got my first haircut, Ernie's Barbershop.
now, Ed, we've been talking living history here on Penn Wynne.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate your talking about Penn Wynne. So thank you very much for sharing Penn Wynne. As you can tell, we have a lot of things here to look at.
Too much to talk about.
Yes. And until next time, this is Living History with Ted Goldsboro.